Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ege and today we're going to be doing my, I believe, April and May wrap up. So for the month of April and May, I read a total of 4 books, and yeah, it has been a struggle. I've been fighting for, okay, I've not really been fighting for my life literally, but I guess it's just one of those times where you're just not really in the reading mood. I think that's just been my problem since. But anyway, I read 4 books, and yeah, let's talk about them. Book I finished was In the Midst of It All, and I gave this 2 stars. And this is basically, it's kind of like, I don't want to classify this as a romance because to me it's not, but I don't really know, maybe just like let's say literary fiction, general fiction, but there's romance in it. Yeah, I think that's what I'll classify this book as. Basically follows this young lady. Her name is Tandy. Shebi Tandy. I want to believe her name is Tandy. If it's not Tandy, then I'll put her actual name here. But she's a South African woman living in South Africa, and she's dating a Nigerian man who's also living in South Africa. His name is Femi, and basically just like follows their relationship. The book was okay, it was not bad. The writing style was just there. I did not hate it, I did not love it. I think the main thing in this book that I didn't really like was the relationship between Femi and Tandy, because I just felt like Femi did not deserve Tandy at the end of the day, because most of the time it felt like Femi was her number one enemy. Like Tandy will be trying to do different things, like maybe in her career, or just like she's this activist type of person. She's always like trying to stand up for what is right and uphold justice and whatnot. And it always feels like Femi was the number one person against her. Like she'll come up with an idea or something, and Femi is the first person to be like, oh, you can't do this or that, don't do this or don't do that. Shasha, I just feel like Femi did not deserve her. Apart from that, their relationship, like throughout the course of the book, their relationship felt very like toxic, in the sense that today there's a dishonesty. Like Femi's lying, she's finding out, they're having like this big fight, they break up, she'll be like, oh, I never want to see you again, she'll go on dates with other people. Then Femi from nowhere will come out and start begging her, she'll accept him, they will go back, maybe have like maybe they'll sleep together or something. Then the cycle repeats, he's lying, she's feeling insecure about their relationship, and Femi is lying, covering up something that frankly did not need to be covered up. He could have just been honest and communicated in the first place and avoided the issue. But yeah, Femi he's always doing the most, and she's always, the relationship was just somewhere in my eyes. So I did not really support their relationship because I did not like Femi, and I was hoping that this book would end up with them breaking up. Like I was hoping at the end they would break up and go their separate ways, but alas, the author wanted this relationship by fire by force. Then apart from that, it also felt like because of the continuous circles of break up and make up between them, it felt very repetitive, and it just felt like it made the book drag. Like a lot of unnecessary fights and drama would have not happened if these people just communicated with each other at the start, mostly on Femi's part. But let's face it, Tandy too, she get down for him because she's always jumping to conclusion. But I feel like it's mostly Femi's fault, because he's always the one, because he's always lying. Femi is always lying. It was not a bad book at all. I feel like this book could have been in the 3-star region, but the relationship between the couple, like Femi and Tandy, just spoils the book for me. But it's not a bad book, sure. The next book I finished was Elantris by Brand Sanderson. I gave this 5 stars. So Elantris is a standalone adult fantasy book, and yeah, this is my first Brand Sanderson, and frankly I'm going to read everything this author writes. I was just so happy when I read this, because I love the way Brand Sanderson developed the world building, and the character development too were just perfect. There's nothing I can complain or argue about, honestly. So Elantris is about this kingdom. I can't remember the name of the kingdom, but there's this kingdom, and in this kingdom there's a place called Elantris, where people that are like, they're kind of like gods, they're like godlike beings live, and yeah, they are basically immortal, and I guess the surrounding kingdoms around them kind of worship them like gods, because they're immortal and they have powers and everything. But then something happens one day, and suddenly all the Elantrians living in elantris start dying, and their skin becomes like silvery pale. Is that English? See, if anything I say right now does not sound like English in your ear, just take it as a new word in the dictionary. So anyway, they start becoming like very pale, they lose all their hair, and they stop bleeding, their heart stop beating. So most people just assume at this point that they are dead, but they're actually still alive and living, just that they don't bleed anymore, their hearts don't beat, and they're just slowly dying basically. So, and like they lose their power. So at this point, Elantrians are no longer worshipped like gods. Their once majestic city is now like a prison where they just throw all of them in to, I guess, die or live forever, slowly dying or something. And the book basically begins where the prince of, I guess, the neighboring kingdom, his kingdom besides Elantris, becomes an Elantrian. So he wakes up one day, he's losing all his hair, his heart is no longer beating, he cannot bleed, his skin is becoming pale, that kind of thing. So that's where the book starts, and then he's thrown into Elantris, and we just go on like a very wild ride, which I really enjoyed. I can't tell you more because I feel like I don't think there's any way I'll be able to describe this book without giving spoilers, but it's really good. The character development, I really enjoyed it. The world building, like the way this book was written, I could picture Elantris. Like it felt like a place I've actually been to. That's how good the world building is. The setup, the world building, everything was just 10 out of 10 for me. So I would highly recommend. After that, the next book I read was A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara. So A Little Life, now I don't even know what to say. Safe to say I cried. I thought I would not cry because I wanted to feel like, I'm not like other readers that cry, but yeah, I ended up crying at the ending. Hanya, she destroyed me in the best possible way. That's how I'm going to describe it. But I really, really enjoyed this book. This book basically follows 4 friends. We have Jude, Will, JB, and Malcolm, and we follow them like through their lives from, I think, their university days. I think when they just finished school, like when they just finished till old age. And yeah, but the main character, or for me, the main character in this book is Jude. And Jude is a person with a lot of secrets, and not his friends don't know everything about him. They know very little about him, and this book takes us on a journey. I will say that this book did not need to be. This book is 700 and yeah, let's just say this book is 700 pages long, and the fonts are microscopic. At this point, this font is microscopic to me, because why is it so small? And there's just so much information that I feel were not necessary, because I feel like we could have cut out 300 pages or 200 to 300 pages on this book, and this book would have still made the huge impact that it did. I understand why the author needed to like write so much and put so much backstories, because in this book a lot of the side characters have backstories, and we kind of see how their lives are intertwined with the lives of the main characters, which is why this book is so heavy, because there's like, it's so big, I mean, because there's so much backstory. And like when we're introduced to a character, we go back in time to see how they met this character, that's the main character, how their lives are intertwined and everything. And I understand the need for that, because I think because of the fact that we had so much backstory, and like so much of the side characters had backstory, and we kind of got to see how their lives intertwined with the lives of the main characters, and why these people are important to the main characters, makes the story richer and like makes it a better experience. But I still feel like we could have cut down, because this book is too big. Like I really enjoyed this book, and I feel like because of the trauma I went through reading it, I would not want to reread it. But aside the trauma, I don't think I will ever want to reread this book again, because of the fonts and the page count. Like this book is too big, too long, unnecessarily long in my opinion. This book, like, you have to like be in a certain type of mood and also be patient, because this book, it kind of meanders sometimes. For me, it meandered a lot and went everywhere without getting anywhere. But yeah, it's at the end of the day, it all makes sense. The payoff is worth it. But yeah, I would still recommend Sha. Final book for this video is Lessons in Chemistry by Bonnie Gramus. And oh my god, this book, 5 stars. I actually read a lot of 5-star books. Like 3 out of the 4 books I read were like 5 stars. So I guess April/May was a good reading month in terms of quality. Quantity wise, I could do better, but you know, it's not like I have to read. Like, it's not like they're paying me to read or anything, so I can read what they are. Like, the number of books I read doesn't really matter anyway. But anyway, Lessons in Chemistry, you guys, this book, you guys, 5-star. I am in love with Elizabeth Zott. I want to be Elizabeth Zott when I grow up. Elizabeth Zott is my president. She's everything. She's my everything at this point. It's about Elizabeth Zott, who is a female scientist working at a research institute in the 60s. And yeah, the book basically starts with her working as a scientist, and then she goes on to become a very famous TV person on a cooking show. Yeah, but yeah, there's also patriarchy because she's a female scientist in the 60s, so you know there's the powers that be will not let her rest. Front, back, center, everybody's coming for Elizabeth, but we see how my girl handles herself in this book. Anyway, this book, like I said, is spectacular, show-stopping, never before seen, anything you can think of, and it is a work of art. I don't know how to describe this book in words that will make you understand that this book is everything you can imagine it to be. But yeah, Elizabeth Zott is a star. I don't think I can even review this book. I'm just gushing here. Like, I can't review this book. I just need you, like, if you've not read Lessons in Chemistry, go and read it. That's all I will say. I don't know how to review the book, but expect a healthy dose of misogyny, but also expect Elizabeth Zott to be a star, an inspiration, a force of nature. See, I thought I could say one or two things about the book, but I can't. Anytime I pick this book up to talk about it, I go and read Lessons in Chemistry, guys. This book is everything. This book is everything. It's everything. Believe me, I won't lie to you. I won't lie to you. Go and read it. Anyway, guys, that's all for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.